I think I've played more gacha games this year than any other content creator I know. Any of you, either. There are probably 65, maybe 70 gacha games that I've played this year. I know, Stix, how do you juggle so many games? I'm just really, really talented. One might say I'm a gacha god. In all seriousness, though, I wanted to do a video going over the various different gacha games that I've played and then rank them from best to worst. UR to, I think, like the rating bracket that I use is N, and kind of just give my thoughts and input as to what I think about them and why I ranked them where I did. That way, you know which games are worth playing and which games are not worth playing based off of, you know, my own thoughts, my own personal opinion, my own sentiment. Now, let's go ahead and just jump right in because this is going to be a very, very long video. We're going to begin with Aether. Aether has beautifully stunning, degenerate waifus. It also has very fun action combat and a very free-to-play friendly gacha system. I've also been sponsored by them, I think like 6-8 times over the course of last year, and every time they've sponsored me, they've just said, Stix, for the entirety of the video, the direction that we have for you is just goon for the new character and show them in combat. And I'm like, are you sure that's all you want me to do for your video that you're sponsoring me for? And they say, yes, that is it. We don't want you to go deep into it. We don't want you to cover anything other than gooning for the character. And I'm like, yo, you don't have to tell me twice, man. Okay. So for that, they are definitely the fun combat, the beautiful everything else is going in SSR plus tier. Next, AFK Journey. This is actually so much less AFK than I thought it was going to be when I played through it. It's very pretty. The story was actually very good. It is, I mean, I don't know the state of it now. It's been like 8 months since I last played it, but when I last played it, it was arguably one of the best idle games out there. I played Ananta at Tokyo Game Show 2025. I loved every minute of it. I love how they're approaching everything. It doesn't have character gacha, but from what I've been told, they do plan on, at the very least, having some form of cosmetic gacha, and that means that I'm going to include it at this list because if it has gacha, then, and I've played it, then I feel like we should at least do it justice and include it here. So from what I played, this game was just immense amounts of fun. The combat was slow and impactful like Sifu. The characters looked really good. The driving was better than in any gacha game that I've played. The city was insanely large. I like the GTA aesthetic, how like it zoomed in and out of characters when you'd swap between them, and every character has their own like unique thing going on when you're not playing them. I also like that there's like a functional dating system. There is going to be like a system where every character can wear the same outfit and adjust to their physical size and shape. Like I think I put it in UR earlier this year before I'd even played it when it came to like upcoming anticipation, but after having played it, it was so much more fun than I thought it was going to be. Anchor Panic, I played I think for like 3 days when it released, and it was, I know I'm gonna upset a few people, but it was a very mediocre game. Like I dropped it after day 3 after I had enough footage to do a dedicated video on it because like it had some decent looking characters, but man, was it slow, arduous, and just so average. Something that is not average though is Ark Knights. That is one of my 3 main gacha games I've played for, I think, going on 2.5-3 years now. This game has an impeccable story with incredible looking men and women, waifus and husbandos. It is the best tower defense game out there with a solid gacha system, very deep, very challenging combat and encounters, and honestly is just leagues and leagues above any other tower defense that I've played. And because I enjoy it as much as I do, I would also put this in the UR tier. It's just really, it's just that good. Ark Knights is Ark Knights is my game, man. It is my game. Following Ark Knights Enfield. I have been playing a lot of this. I mean, like, yo, in the background right now, we are playing Ark Knights Enfield. This is arguably the most complete beta test that I have ever played, and I cannot stress how much fun it has been, from its phenomenal combat to its extraordinarily detailed characters, to its good voice cast, to its... I think the only thing I've had an issue with so far is it's the guarantee not carrying over for the gacha and the story starting off slow. But from everything I have played, I would easily put this in UR tier. This is going to be a game that I play so much of when it releases next year in 2026. And I'm a no-life the hell out of that game, man. Next, we have Ash Echoes. This was actually a pretty fun strategy game. I was surprised it didn't actually like achieve more success than it did. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm surprised that it died off as quickly as it did. I probably would put that in SSR just purely because it felt very high quality. Atelier Resliveriana I would also put in SSR. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Atelier games, but that game really, really, really sold me on the franchise. I played dozens of hours of that. I don't know, is the game still live globally? But the character models were beautiful. I think there was an Atelier Ryza collab, and the characters in Ryza, my god, I think they really sold the game, the whole intellectual property for players. Azur Lane excels in almost every category. Character models, sheer and utter degeneracy, the free-to-play friendliness of its gacha system. Its story is hit or miss, like it's fun and enjoyable, and then it's just, average. So you kind of like move back and forth between that. I think like the main issue I had with Azur Lane was actually that it didn't release fully onto PC, and that I think would have helped further my enjoyment of it, as it were. But this game, Azur Lane, like it's definitely SSR plus, because I mean it's just in its respective genre there really isn't anything better. Then we have Black Beacon, dude. Oh my god, this was like a recipe for success. Great voice acting, great character models, fun combat, fun world, fun setting, fun theme. And then they're just like, how do we ruin a game that has everything going for it? Like, I would have put this in SSR plus as well, if not for how horribly poorly managed it was. So like this should be here, but it ultimately ended up going down here just due to the management. Bleach Soul Resonance, you go down here. It's disingenuous of me. I think Bleach Soul Resonance is a relatively fun game as well. I gave it a 6.4. The combat was fun. Character models look good. I hate how they copyrighted the VOD I had where I played it, but ultimately this was a great, I think, like recreation or rendition or interpretation of the Bleach anime. Then we have Blue Archive. This right here, like, I remember getting into this for the first time. I enjoyed it so much, man. Like, I got in, I started playing. I skipped the story initially because I was just trying to, like, get a feel for the gameplay, because people were telling me 60 to play it. So I got in there and I'm like, I saw Asuna for the first time, and I think it was like Karin as well, and I was like, holy! And then, the more I played of it, I realized that, you're a sensei and they're all your students, and I was like, they are baiting people so hard with this, man. But I realized that the story was absolutely freaking phenomenal. The game was actually much more difficult than I thought. I finished everything, the entire story, all the chapters, about 8 months ago when I stopped playing it, and I enjoyed every minute that I spent in there. They're also very free-to-play friendly too, and they give literally hundreds of rewards for like the half anniversary, major anniversaries. I'd put this in SSR plus as well. Blue Protocol Star Resonance is one of like 2 gacha MMOs in this list. I thoroughly enjoyed myself in it. I enjoyed myself in OG Blue Protocol. I'm sad that there's such a strong lack of content present, and the end game is just really, really boring. I'd probably put this in SR tier. I mean, it's a very high quality anime MMO. You know what? It's going to SSR because it's a very high quality anime MMO. When you compare it to other MMOs, there aren't really any MMOs that are better than it in the anime category. Brown Dust 2 is almost peak degeneracy. It has beautiful character animations and graphics and skill effects, incredible looking characters. The waifus are like sizzling hot. Story is incredible. How they tell like the narrative is insane. They give you a lot of free characters. They give you so many free polls. The outfits are out of this freaking world. The world itself is fun to explore. They're very generous. Like, This game is almost UR quality. It is definitely deserving of SSR Plus because there are few games that are turn-based that are as good as it. Cat Fantasy was very average. It was I don't know. I played it. I think I streamed it a few times. I played it a few times after that, did a video on it. I saw the outfit that was present at launch, which was kind of crazy. But it was very mediocre. There was nothing I think that really stood out about it at all. Chaos Zero Nightmare. This right here is the gacha release of 2025. I think the studio here did phenomenally with this. They've captivated the gacha scene, and evidently, if you look at its revenue, the speculative revenue website, by the way, you'll see that it's doing phenomenally, significantly better than any other gacha release this year, pretty much, I think. And that's because it's just like a good combat, very friendly with their rewards, great looking characters. They need a sweep feature desperately, and they are very receptive to player demands, player requests, and player feedback. I don't think I've seen a gacha release this year that has had a studio that are as communicative with their community than this one. They are doing everything right, and I am just genuinely impressed. So this is definitely going up in the UR tier for me. Another game that I thoroughly enjoyed was Chasing Kaleido Rider. I played this at Tokyo Game Show. They sponsored me to play it. I went up on the stage. They had me do a gacha pull live, and a waifu came out. She walked over to me. She grabbed my hand, pulled me over to the center of the stage, and then she gave me the shoe that she was wearing. And in my sponsorship, they were like, one of the requirements were they wanted me to, really sell it. Get down and start sniffing the shoe or sniff her feet or something. And I was like, bro, my wife is recording me in the audience. I can't do that. So I just turned to the camera with complete and utter shock. Oh no, whatever do I do? Oh, but I thoroughly enjoyed the combat. I like the whole riding the motorcycle aspect, and the character models are out of this world, dude. They are so good. I didn't get to experience much of the story, so I can't say whether the story is good or not, but from everything I played it for over an hour and a half, or about an hour and a half. I'd give it an SSR plus. That's one of the games I'm most looking forward to next year. CounterSide was actually one of the first gacha games I did as part of my worst gacha ever series, and I had some fun at it. There were some moments of degeneracy present, but overall it was kind of an okay game. I don't think it was really great. Crystal of Outlaw, oh my god, that was probably one of my most disappointing gacha games of the year. I thought it was gonna it was essentially a gacha MMO, but so average and just repetitious, and they went heavy pay to win as fast as they freaking could, which was overwhelmingly disappointing. Another game that was overwhelmingly disappointing was our first entry, Devil May Cry Peak of Combat. I don't know how you take a game franchise with some of the best action combat in the genre and turn it into a gacha with some of the worst action combat in the gacha genre. I don't know how. How do you do that? That takes genuine and utter talent, bro. Dislight, I'd probably put in SR. They sponsored me a couple times. They were very hands-free with it. I think that I'm pretty sure it had turn-based combat, if I recall. It's been 2 years since I played it, but they were also somewhat free-to-play friendly, if memory serves. But the story in that was actually very good, and I enjoyed myself, but not enough where I'd actually actively play it. Do It Night Abyss, man, that was almost perfect for me. Genuinely almost perfect. I like the character models. I don't think they're, as good as something like Azure Lane or Ark Knights Enfield or, Wuthering Waves. I do think they're very detailed, very good. I think the story is really good. I think the gameplay, the combat is all very good. I think the one drawback I have is that it takes too long to grind, so I had to quit. So it wasn't casual friendly enough for me. I love the fact that you can grind out everything you want, but I don't have the time for that personally, so I'd probably put this in SSR plus. Then we have Apocalypse. This is going down here. I have accepted a lot of sponsors from them, and that's because it's a perfectly okay game, but that's about it. It has super degenerate characters. It has a decent combat system. If you're into that idle, horizontal idle auto attacking system, story's trash, but it's just it's very just okay, mediocre, where you play it for a bit, you're like, okay, I'm done. And then you just stop for 6 months, come back when a new character appeals to you, and then stop again, just to like get the new character. Eminence in Shadow was terrible. I played it for a month. I played it for 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day for a month. A couple days I played it for a couple hours just so I could try and push hard through it. It was so boring, so pay to win, and just not at all fun. I like, that was a waste of my life doing. I would never ever wish that horrid game on anyone, which I know is going to upset a few of the players that actually still play it. Epic 7. This is some of the same people that do Chaos Zero Nightmare, if I recall, and was also one of the early gacha games that I played. This was surprisingly fun, and to this day still has insanely degenerate waifus. It also has a pretty decent story. I'd probably put this in SSR. I don't think it deserves to be higher, but I also don't think it deserves to be lower. It's a good game. Not incredible, not great. Eddie Chronicle, I would probably put in R tier. That was that like waifu Gundam mecha gacha, if I recall. That was okay. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was just very much so okay. Atelier Restart was really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't like the direction they took the game. I don't like the issues that they ultimately ended up having with the game, but gameplay loop was very fun. The combat was very fun. The graphics animations were very fun. The character models looked great. The story was engaging. So I think it's a pretty good game. It is. Like, at the end of the day, it's a pretty good game. And a friend of mine, Gacha Smack, another friend of mine, Vulcan, they covered it extensively. The devs were really nice to them. It's just like, pay to win ruined the game, and like the predatory monetization ruined the game, but it's still, you know, at its core, we're just looking at it from a gameplay perspective, a good game. Exactly. I would have put this up here had the devs actually, you know, not destroyed the game. Then we have Eversoul. I would put this in SSR plus. This is the best idle gacha game out there, unless of course you count Nikke an idle gacha game, in which case this is the second best idle gacha game out there. The like player housing system of this game is so much fun. Being able to directly interact with your characters, the waifus is so much fun. The designs are phenomenal. Story's fun. Like how you come out of a butthole of the sky, that threw me at the beginning of the and then like the interactions you have between the women. Like the game is pretty free to play friendly. You get a lot of free polls. They're really like, I have no real complaints about this game at all. Like, it's just genuinely really good. But I don't think it's as good as, you know, the few that are in UR. Then we have Evertale. This game goes down here. This game is terrible. I've done several videos on it. Every video I've done has gotten like 150,000 views because I constantly address just how scummy this team is, how little they care about their players, how they constantly market themselves as, you know, horror Pokemon using ads that they don't have copyright to. And it's just a nightmare. It's genuinely, like, at its core, it's not a bad game. It's not even decent, but it's not bad. But man, is that studio one of the worst studios I've ever seen in my life. Fate Grand Order. Okay, I know this is definitely gonna upset some people, but it's definitely going in SSR. I played through it. It's literally like reading and, you know, a visual novel. There was little gameplay, but hours and hours and hours of reading, and I had to skip some of it because it was just so much reading, and I wanted to play a video game, not read a book. The story, though, being set in the Fate franchise, is fantastic. Character models look okay. I played it for like a month and a half and then stopped, and I've never went back, just purely because I cannot deal with all the reading. I just can't. I can't. There's too much reading, dude. Too much reading. Way too much. Then we have Genshin Impact. This was like 2 years ago, chat. This would be here. This would be UR tier, because Genshin Impact for the first year set the standard for gacha games. There was nothing higher quality. For the first 3 years, it set the standard for the gacha genre because there was nothing higher quality, but there were games that were upcoming that looked like they would be able to compete with it. And then after, you know, Wuthering Waves launched, after Zenless Zone Zero launched, after we've seen games like Ark Knights Enfield, games like Neverness to Everness, games like Ananta, Genshin Impact has begun to, you know, feel, look, and seem a little dated. Is it bad enough where it's no longer a good game? Not at all. I think Genshin Impact is still a very good game, very high quality game with a great story. Too much Paimon, but a great story. The fun elemental reaction in terms of combat system, a beautiful world to explore, very predatory, but it's still an SSR plus tier game. There aren't really very many gacha games out there that are better quality than Genshin Impact. A couple, maybe. Then we have Girls Frontline. I'd put this like above average, but just kind of okay. I'd put this in SR. I feel like it's a decent game. I couldn't get into it. I played it for 2 weeks. It was difficult, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I wasn't really a big fan of the character models or the designs in game, and it just looked and felt very dated. And I was playing Azur Lane at the time, and Azur Lane just like sold me on everything so much more. Girls Frontline 2, however, I'd put in SSR+. Some of the best characters, waifus in the genre, fun gameplay, good voice acting. Was a good story actually until like it started getting a little disjointed. Very predatory. I hate the gacha. The rates are obnoxiously bad. I think it was like 0.6% or 0.8%, which is really bad. 50-50 for weapon and characters is terrible. Not nearly as generous or free-to-play friendly as some of the other gacha games out here, like Nikke or like Brontos 2 or Blue Archive. But still, like, I'd score a really, really good, fun game. We have Guardian Tales. This is a UR for me. This game is very fun combat. It's literally like the old school Zelda games. It has one of the best narratives in gacha. It is fun. It is dark and messed up. The worlds are fun to explore. All the different side stories are really fun and engaging. The diversity in terms of the characters and each individual fighting and combat style is just overwhelmingly good. I mean, there has been some power creep lately, but they've been relatively free to play friendly for a while now. And like the humor in this game just sold me, absolutely sold me. I like it. It kept me captivated and enthralled for as long as I played it, and it is to date one of my favorite gacha games, hands down. Haze Reverb. I think that's a recent release. That was not great. I played it. I think I played it for a couple days and then put it down because it was very much so like a lot of these low budget, you know, okay gacha games. Was just an okay gacha game. Higad Erethel, I would put in R because it actually was not a bad game. It wasn't a very good game, but it was not a bad game. It was one of the gachas I was actually playing earlier in my like streaming career, where I would play a lot of gacha games I'd never played before. I got into that at release. I got into that in the beta, and I had some fun. Overall, like after releasing, it just wasn't really very good. Honkai Impact 3rd, I'd put in SSR+. I played a lot of that. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had incredible looking characters. Thought it had a very fun story, very engaging world, a lot of lore and a lot of history, and actually had a better story told than Genshin Impact, in my opinion. And it was one of Hoyoverse's better gacha games. Honkai Star Rail, I would also put in SSR+, because despite some of its issues with storytelling and narrative presentation, the whole like single color backdrop and then like a single color text and their stagnant kind of inanimate, you know, character animations and cutscenes and everything, I still think it's a good, really good told story with great character models and a really good combat style. They do have a lot of power creep and they are very predatory though, but I mean it is Hoyoverse, so you know, it's par for the course. Horizon Walker, I'd probably put in I don't know, I'd probably put in SR. I don't know, like the levels of degeneracy in this game are mind-blowing, but like I don't know, character models look good, the culture degeneracy is great, but I feel like everything else is just kind of okay. It's not really like a standout really good game. It's a decent game. It's not great, but it's a decent game. Then we have Infinity Nikki. I would put this up here. This definitely also deserves SSR+ because it is a beautiful game with a beautiful open world, beautiful characters, beautiful outfits, lots of fun stuff to do, decent combat, lot to explore. But man, is this studio Infold or Paper Games or whoever does it absolutely brain dead and just some of the worst decision makers I've ever seen in my life. Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade goes in R. I didn't really have much fun playing that. It was an okay game. It was a decent interpretation of the anime, but it was just okay. I don't recall the gacha rates being anything special. The character models looked okay. The story was okay. Honestly, I think I had more fun with Kaiju number 8, the game. I think the character models looked actually really good in that game, kind of like in Bleach Soul Resonance. I think the story was okay. I don't really remember anything about the gacha, but I remember the combat. I remember the character models being quite exceptional for a gacha game that was adapted from an already existing intellectual property. Limbus Company, that's a tough one because I probably poured in like 12 hours, 15 hours into this game, and man, its story is wild. Its gameplay is a ton of fun. They seem to be very free-to-play friendly. It's a setting and style that just kind of blew me away. I don't like, it doesn't feel like a gacha game. It felt like it was designed as a video game and they just kind of like tacked on gacha after the fact. I feel that way about a couple different gacha games, and like this has got to go up in UR tier. There's just no question about it. It's just unbelievably high quality and really shouldn't even be, you know, like referred to as a gacha if not just for the gacha elements. It's just really, really freaking good. I feel a butt coming. No, there's not a butt. Okay, there is a butt, but it was so fucking hard. It was so hard, dude. Oh my god. It required a brain. Lost Sword was fun. I'd probably put this in SR tier. It was fun. Fun story, fun voice acting, fun narrative, great degenerate characters. I had a great time playing it, streaming it, and when I was sponsored by them, they didn't have any real direction at all. They were just like, you know, play the game and showcase the women, and I was like, easy, can do. Then we have Memento Mori. This goes, like, I'm debating, I probably should have put an N+ tier because I feel like it's got to go in R because the music's beautiful and the characters are beautiful and the music is beautiful, but everything else sucks. There's like no story. It's ridiculously, egregiously pay to win and has no real redeeming factors outside of that. So, okay, Midasi is a gacha I played at Tokyo Game Show. They've sponsored me to be there. They had me go into a dark room and play with one of the waifus, and digital waifus, not physical waifus. But one of the staff members were there in the room with me, and they're like, Stix, touch her down there, and then up there, and then play with her, rub her. Yeah, there, that's perfect, Stix, right like that. Yep, you're doing it. Lift her skirt. Yep, there you go. I'm just like, dude's like right next to me, and I'm like, yo, like, I like you, bro, but you need to take like at least 2 steps back because you're whispering in my ear when my wife is right there, literally half a foot from me. But the character models look insane. The gameplay was fun. The game was overall was a pretty solid game. I'd probably put this in SSR tier right now. We'll see how it goes as we get closer to release, because the localization was actually not very good, and they openly admitted that themselves. They're like, yeah, I told our localizers that we need to actually work on that. But I got to play, you know, about an hour of it. I didn't get to play too much of the story. I didn't get to see what the end game was like, so I think it'd be disingenuous of me to rank it higher when I didn't play enough of it. But basically, after that experience in the dark room with him, I walked out and they're like, surprise, everyone was watching you, and I was like, well, don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh man, good times though, good times. Then we have Mirror and Star Legends. This was, I'd put an R tier. It had some decent quality waifus, but that's about it. It was difficult, pay to win, predatory. I don't even know if it's still online, if I'm being honest with you. Mongol Stardive, I played the first beta of. I played the second beta of. They sponsored us. We played it at Tokyo Game Show on stage. It was really good. This is probably one of my most anticipated upcoming gacha games. Incredible looking characters, actually ridiculously good story, very fun action combat system. It uses a segregated world, so it's not open world, but it's not instance either. It has like loading screens that are separating different areas, which was really cool. And overall, it's a beautiful quality game. Then we have Mormons. Man, chat, y'all want to know how much Mormons I've been playing over the course? I started this like 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. 42, almost 43 hours spent in this game. 43. I mean, evidently I'm having fun in it. I'm having a lot of fun in it. Really good story, really good roguelike gameplay, great looking characters, very free to play friendly. The gacha is actually really good. The devs are super rewarding and very generous. Like, literally, there's nothing bad about this game. If you have not played it, and this, I'm not sponsored to say this, but if you have not played it, you are doing yourself a disservice, and you need to go at least try it. It's a hidden gem that is overlooked by so many people, and I don't know why. I don't understand why it's overlooked by so many people. It needs to be played. They did sponsor me for 2 live streams and a dedicated video, though, like a week or a week and a half ago, and I just got paid to play a game that I was having a ton of fun in already, which I very much so appreciate. Then we have Neverness to Everness. I played, I think it was the first beta, the Chinese beta. Then I played the second beta. They sponsored me for an appearance at Gamescom, where I got to do this performance against a German GTA content creator. They had us do like a boss rush event, and they had us do a race. I won almost every single boss fight and he won almost every single race. So I was okay with that. The character models in this game have seen significant improvements over the early and beta tests, and I think are really freaking good. I think the combat has been improved and is also really freaking good. Tagedo as a character is really annoying, and he needs to be completely removed from the game because he's dragging it down. The entire quest that focuses on Tagedo, and like that I wish I could have skipped like that entire segment of the game. But the driving and everything was fun. I played it on PC, I played it on mobile, I also played it on console at the Tokyo Game Show 2025, where they also sponsored me for. You can find my sponsored videos on the channel. They also sponsored me for a short. They're also sponsoring me for upcoming content, like every other major gacha game, which is awesome and I appreciate. I would definitely put this in SSR Plus. I think if they fix the wall running and make it so it's not locked behind the little like pink-haired Daniele character, and allow for you like freely run up walls wherever, whenever you want, and they removed the like Tagedo as such a large focus of the game, this would be up here. Genuinely, this would be up here. I, like Reclaim said, yeah, I'm also very proud of Hot Up because they've done phenomenal work in improving this game, especially over Tower Fantasy, and their gacha as well, I forgot to point out, is really good. I don't believe there's a 50-50 if I recall. Let me verify. Yep, there's no 50-50 system, so it's just an immediate guarantee. You just get in, you get your character, you get out. So that's really freaking good. So if they just fix those two issues, Tagedo, the wall running, you are plus tier. It's easy, absolutely. And again, like I've worked with them several times now for sponsorships, and they have been so easy to work with, and I've had absolutely no issue whatsoever, which is very different to early TOF days. Then we have Nikke. Nikke is my main gacha game. The gacha game I love more than any other. It has one of the best storylines, one of the best soundtracks, some of the best voice acting from an American studio anyway. Incredibly generous. Like every anniversary, half anniversary, really big, like 200-300 free polls. They give out free polls every time they hit #1 on the App Store or the Play Store. So you're just constantly thrown free polls at you, right? There's no 50-50. The rates are like, what, 4% for limited? 4% SSR rate. Yeah. So, I mean, you don't get much more free-to-play friendly or generous than Nikke. That game right there is the pinnacle of what is or should be considered quality, and to date is the sole reason why I continue to play it every single day. I've not missed logging in for a single day, and is also UR quality, and I've made it UR tier every single time I've done a tier list for years. Then we have Outer Plane, which admittedly I wasn't really a big fan of. I'm gonna put this here, SR, because it's a decent game. It's not bad, it's not good. I've heard that they've been relatively free-to-play friendly recently, which is really good, but I just couldn't really get into it. I didn't really find the story very engaging, and I didn't really find the gameplay very good. But I'm getting back into it in the next couple months. I'm going to give it a lot more time to actually cook and see if it does become a very good game. Overfield. This is another gacha game that is very overlooked, that flew under the radar. I did a video on it, got 40,000 views because nobody knew what it was or that it was coming. And we overloaded their servers at release, launch night, and it was so much fun. To see so many people enjoying a cute MMO together, I mean, it was just genuinely fun. I think it was super cute. I think that like at the end of the day, it's just like a cozy, happy game that you play with other people. And ultimately, I'd put that here. SSR. It's not dark. It's not messed up. They're not crazy greedy. You know, it's not difficult. It's not large and open. It's just a good, fun game that I just played and had fun in. I mean, I can't really ask for more than that. Path to Nowhere, definitely going in SSR Plus. That is the second best tower defense gacha game out there. No question. It's more like adult looking than Ark Knights. Doesn't utilize like chibi character models. It has beautiful graphics, insane characters, genuinely some of the most adult experiences you'll have. Not like experiences, but like just, I don't really know how to explain it without you actually playing it. It feels so much more than just a gacha game, but then it's a gacha game, you know? So it's just really good quality, and y'all need to play it. Then we have Punishing Grey Raven, which is an immediate UR. I mean, that's not even really a question. It's just so good, and it's continued to get better. Incredible storytelling. The the new game mode that they implemented where you can like freely run around as a commander and everything and interact with all the waifus and husbandos. It's so cool. The story, like the character stories are just so deep and complex, and they're incredibly free to play friendly. Like in terms of gacha, it's just, there really aren't many gacha games out there that have gacha systems specifically that are nearly as free to play friendly as Punishing Gray Raven does, with the weapon gacha and the character gacha being so low and requiring so little investment to actually attain everything, coupled with it being one of the best action gacha games out there. Like, it's just, there isn't really anything better, like in terms of the kind of instant chapter and mission based gacha games. And its soundtrack is incredible, like Ark Knights, like Path to Nowhere, like Nikke. Then we have Memento White Shadow. That was honestly a fun game. I liked the character models, I liked the style and aesthetic, I liked the theme, I liked the open world. It was all, or the segregated open world rather. It was a good game, but ultimately it was done in by just a lack of polish, I think, overall. So I'm putting it in SR tier. Then we have Resident Solstice. This is the new train gacha. I'm going to put this in SR because it's a pretty decent game. It's very fun. It's very unique. It's just slower. And honestly, a decent game that I think everyone needs to try out if they're looking for something a little slower, a little more casual, and a little more friendly in terms of time investment necessary to actually, you know, play and enjoy. Then we have Reverse 1999. This has one of the 3 best stories in gacha. It has one of the 3 best English dubs in gacha. It has great turn-based combat. It is very free to play friendly. It has continued to grow in popularity continuously over the course of the last year and a half. People thought it was going to die, but it proved them wrong. The characters look incredible. They're not overly sexualized. They're also very just high quality generally and very diverse. It's just, this right here is, and its soundtrack is really, really good. I don't know if I mentioned that. Unbelievably good. And so is its theme and setting. But this is unbelievably good, and it's still one of my, I think, like 10 favorite gacha games that I've ever played, and also deserves UR tier. There's no question about it. Then we have 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. I played that. It's a pretty good game. The turn-based combat's fun. Character models look good. The story is essentially like retelling of the anime, which is really good because I've played a lot of it, or, you know, that means I've played a lot of the story. And it's just overall a solid quality game from Netmarble. 7 Deadly Sins Origin, on the other hand, is a different story. I played that at, I was actually sponsored, and they had me in an interview at Tokyo Game Show, and I thought the characters looked good. I thought the combat was good, but the world was very average. It felt like Genshin Impact. I think the animations felt kind of just average. Overall, I thought this was a decent game. It wasn't really that good. It was decent. I do not foresee this doing that great. I think it is long past its a date that would have been where it would have been competitive. It's essentially a better Genshin Impact, but a much worse Wuthering Waves. So this is like Genshin Impact if Genshin Impact were made 2 years later. Or at least that's how I felt when I played it, both in the beta and at Tokyo Game Show. There have 7 Nights Rebirth, which actually, this took me by surprise. I actually had some fun in this. I'm going to put this in SSR because I thought that the ability to earn all your premium gems in-game by just grinding, having like an auto grind system, is very free to play friendly. I think the character models look really good. I think the story was very fun. I think the overall, like the loop of earning and then spending and then earning more and then spending more is just actually done pretty well in that game. Then we have Silver and Blood. I'm putting this in SR. I had some fun when I played it. Thought the story was decent. Thought the character models were decent. I thought everything in it were decent, but that's about it. I don't think it, like, any aspect of the game really stood out. It just looked and felt like a decent game. And at the end of the day, like, you look at its revenue, it's doing decently. You know, it's not doing great. It's not doing badly. It's just doing decently, which is great because it's a decent game. Snowbreak, I would put in SSR. Super degenerate, great looking characters. They've gotten really good. They really need to rework the early chapters because, man, is it boring to push through. And I'm going to be pushing through it on a brand new account just so I can showcase how bad the experience is for new players to get through. It's one of the very, very few, like, third-person shooters in the gacha genre, and they actually do what they do very well, and that is sell hot women that the men want to fuck. So that is essentially what Snowbreak is, and it works. We have Solo Leveling Arise, which I also enjoyed. That was a pretty fun game. I think it's one of Netmarble's few, like, genuinely decent quality games. Story was fun, gameplay was fun, graphics were good. overall, I had absolutely no complaints. We have Starseed, Asnia Trigger. I'd put that in SR. It was a decent game. It got super degenerate with its the live 2D wallpapers and everything. Like there was one point we were on a motorcycle and like you had a rear view of one of the main characters, and it was very good. Like in terms of design and aesthetic, it was very good. But outside of that, it was, I don't know, it was just kind of okay. You know what I mean? Then we had Stellosaura. This game, I'd put in SSR plus. This game it has great character models. It has a fun story, very upbeat, very light, very happy. It has really good combat. It has a great gameplay loop. It has honestly everything I wanted out of the game except for its gacha. I think that the cost of things are too much and the acquisition of premium currency is too low. I think that is the one drawback here that I found with the game. And when you look at other games that have released recently, like Chaos Zero Nightmare, that are given so much in terms of like just currency to pull for, like it's a no-brainer that it should be lower than it. But it's still like, regardless of the drama it's been in, and regardless of the issues I've had, because they sponsored me 3 or 4 times in the last few months, regardless of anything, I think that the game itself is really, really good, genuinely. Then we have Tower Fantasy, which I would probably put, I played that last year, and if I was judging it off of my 1.0 experience, it would be in the N tier. If I were judging it off of my experience last year, it would probably be in SSR, but I played I have spent time in the new Warped server, and I have a video coming on that. I've talked to multiple other content creator friends of mine, like Braxophone, that played the Warped server, that really didn't like it. And I would say that a lot of the issues that were present in Tower of Fantasy are still there, and now it's just a weaker version of what was already there. So I would say it's definitely dropped in terms of, I think, fun and quality for me. I have Unma Musume. I'd put this in SSR plus. This was a global phenomenon, but it was just, it was so time consuming for me. It took so long for me to play. So I ultimately ended up just being like, I can't dedicate any more time to it. It was just such a grind to actually complete everything, but it was so much fun. I really enjoyed the bit of the story that I played through. I enjoyed the gameplay loop. I really enjoyed the character models and everything. It required too much time investment, which is pretty much the exact same issue I had with Do It Night Abyss. Too much time investment for me. Then we have Where Winds Meet. This is going up here in UR tier. I know Where Winds Meet technically isn't a gacha game, but it has gacha cosmetics, gacha outfits, and I forget, does it have the mounts are gacha too, right? So yeah, they're definitely gacha elements. It definitely deserves to be in a list of games that are gacha that I've played. Tomorrow game that, yep, I saw. Combat's phenomenal, graphics are phenomenal, the story's good, side quests are good, dungeons, raids, the MMO aspect and elements. I mean, let's be real. There hasn't been a release in 2025, or there have been very few releases in 2025 that I think are of comparable quality to Where Winds Meet. Then we have Wuthering Waves. We have a lot of gacha games going into the UR tier this year, chat. God damn. Definitely UR tier for me. This has the best action combat. This has a phenomenal story after 2.0. It has an incredible world to explore. It has a diverse selection of exploration features, like you can fly for free on every character, no gating. You can, in 3.0, drive a motorcycle. It has a functional mount system as of 3.0. It's not gated behind anyone, that everyone can use. It has an incredible cast of voice actors. It has the studio themselves, the devs, continue to implement features, quality of life features and improvements that people just want, that continue to elevate the game further and further, making it into one of the best games in the genre. The gacha is much better than games like Genshin and Honkai Star Rail and Zenless, because it doesn't have a 50-50 for the weapon banner. You just get it at 80 or earlier. The character gacha is actually lower as well, at 80 instead of 90. There is a 50-50 though, which kind of sucks. You can use Afterglow Coral to buy duplicates of your character from the cash shop, from the store, which means you can, if you save up, you can literally like buy multiple dupes in a row of a character after winning them at 80 pulls, which is really, really good. It just, the one thing I have is, the one issue I have is just that there isn't too much of an end game loop, but I feel like that's the case with every single gacha game. They all lack that one single like recurring feature that would help elevate them from being considered slop into, you know, like a AAA quality game. Not that I'm saying they are, but some people believe them to be. And then we have Zenless Zone Zero, which also goes into the UR tier, because that is Hoyo versus best gacha game. Incredible combat, action combat, super gooner, like ridiculously degenerately gooner. which is right up my alley. Good story, and just like all around a very high quality game, and arguably one of the best like segregated world chapter mission based gacha games in terms of like presentation, storytelling, and everything. I think that, you know, the monetization is still Hoyo predatory levels, but outside of the monetization, this game is so unbelievably good, man. And that is my tier list. Chat, I feel like we have a lot. We actually have a lot of UR, a lot of SSR plus, a lot of SSR, surprising number of SR, not too many R, and only a few N. So I think that's a pretty good list. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.